Hello and welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, hi, my name is Mary and welcome to another Craft Day Wednesday, where every Wednesday I post a new video. In today's video I am going to be doing another gnome. This one is going to be a standing girl gnome too, because I did one, but I think it was a couple years ago. Not real for sure, but yeah, so I was asked if I could do a gnome girl with long hair. And so that's what we're going to do today. So what you're going to need for this project is we're going to start off with our little baby shower shoes that you can get at Dollar Tree. You're going to need those. You're going to need felt. I'm going to be using gray, white, pink, and a flesh color. I think it's peach though. I am going to be using my styrofoam balls, and we talked about these in all my gnome videos, and all I do is take my styrofoam balls and cut them in half so I can make two gnomes out of one ball. I do the same thing with the smaller balls, and I'll have to look and see the sizes because I went ahead and took them right out of the package, and I get these at Walmart. And then I normally make my clothes out of just little scrap pieces that I have here. So this is what we're going to be making her outfit out of. So yeah. And since I am going to be doing a female gnome, and normally I use faux fur for her hair, but I am actually going to be working with doll hair. And it's this curly doll hair that I'm going to be working with. I got this doll hair from a friend. So yeah, and you're going to need hot glue, and also you're going to need a styrofoam cone, and this is what mine look like. And I went ahead and put my wooden dowels in so mine can be dry so I can go ahead and move to the next part. But all my gnomes are done the exact same way. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead now and turn my camera down so we can just jump into the video. So the first thing I'm going to do is I have one shoe done here. And I'm going to go ahead and do my other shoe. So I am going to go ahead and grab my gray felt, and I'm just going to go ahead. And I also, what I do is I put a little piece of cardboard underneath for the sole of the shoe so my gnomes don't slip around. So I'm just going to put a little bit of hot glue right around the base of the shoe, and I'm just going to go ahead and just glue this down in place, just like this. And then I'm just going to go ahead and glue this all the way around the shoe. So now that we got our shoe wrapped, I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of hot glue down off in here, just like this. And now we're just going to go ahead and fold our ends like this. And I do my shoes the same way. And now I'm just going to stick a little bit of hot glue right here. And I'm just going to hold this for a minute, allow that to dry. And I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of hot glue down off in the inside of the shoe. And I'm going to very carefully tuck that on the inside. And I'm just going to grab a wooden stick, a popsicle stick, just so I can push this down and not burn my fingers. Stay right there, Coco. So now I'm going to take a thin piece of felt that I cut, and I am going to just go ahead and start right at the end of the shoe. And I'm just going to go ahead and wrap this around. So all I'm doing is just going to go ahead and just give my shoe just a little more extra detail, since her outfit is going to be pink and white, or pink and gray with a little bit of white. I figured we should make her shoes match. And now I'm going to go over here and do the same thing to this side. So I'm just going to grab this, and we're just going to pull this here, and I'm just going to hold this back here. Going to grab my scissors, and we're just going to give that a quick little cut, and this is what we have so far. And I'm just going to give this a little stretch, just to stretch out my felt a little. And I'm just going to put a little bit of hot glue right here, in here. And I'm just going to go ahead, stretch this, and we're just going to put that right across the top. Just like that. And we're just going to go ahead and cut off the extra. So this is what we have. Now I am going to take a corner piece of my white felt, and I'm just going to cut it off like this. So this is what you should have. And I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to look at this one, and we're just going to put this one right here. So I'm just going to put a little bit of hot glue right on the back, very carefully, and I'm just going to stick this right here. So now we have our little pair of shoes all done. Let's set those to the side, and we're going to move all of this out the way. So what I do with my doll hair, I am just going to take it just like this, and I'm just going to try to get it as even as possible, and I'll clip what I need to. But all I do is take my doll hair, spread it out like this. I'll take a rubber band or elastic, whatever you want to call it, or whatever you have on hand, and all I do is take this and make just a small ponytail. This is how I do it. So we're just going to go ahead, and I'm just going to wrap this around, because you're not going to see it once you put it on your gnome. And then I'm just going to find the opening here, and then I'll trim everything up. Move that. And this is what we end up with for our gnome hair. And then what I do is I take my little styrofoam ball. I put a little bit of hot glue right here, right in the middle. And then I take that elastic band that we have here. I'm just going to clip this a little bit. And then I'm just going to take that and put this right on top, just like that. And you're going to hold that here and let it dry. And once you get it all dry, I'm going to set this one to the side so that can continue to dry. And I'm going to bring this one back because we are all done with this one. This is what it looks like. I got to really take my X-Acto knife and scrape off the hot glue off my desk. So this is what we have. So now what we're going to do is you're going to take your styrofoam ball, your mini styrofoam ball that looks like this, and I went ahead and cut this in half to make two because I can get two gnome noses out of one ball. And all I did was once I cut it in half, I took my fingers and I just squeezed in a little bit because for my female gnomes, I don't really like them to have a super big nose. So yeah, now I'm going to set this to the side and I am going to grab my peach colored felt. And I know it's going to look a little bit dark on camera because the felts changed my lighting settings. So I'm just going to cut a little bit of this off, set that there. And what I do is I take my styrofoam ball and I just wrap it around in my felt. So once you get it wrapped, the whole ball wrapped in felt, this is what it should look like. And then we have here on the back. Excuse the paint on my hands and my arm. Is because I was working on another project and I was on a deadline, and no matter how you scrub, sometimes you just cannot get that paint off. But now we're just going to go ahead and glue the nose in place. You just pick a spot where you want the nose to be. I'm going to put mine right about here. And we're just going to hold this here until it dries. So once it's dry and you're happy with the location that you have it, I am going to go ahead and I took a standard popsicle stick and I'm just going to go ahead and stick that right here. And then I'm going to grab my gnome and then I am going to go ahead and I'm just going to stick it like this to see if I'm happy with So now I'm going to go ahead and attach everything. So now that we have her head attached, I'm going to slide it to the side to let that dry. And I'm going to come back and show you how I did her the little pants that she's going to be wearing. This is what I have. And what I did was I took a pair of pants and I just cut the legs off. And once I had it cut, I went ahead and I turned it wrong side out like this. So this, you're going to fold this end over like this. And you're going to go ahead and grab your hot glue. And what we're going to do is we're just going to get as close to the edge as possible. So I'm just going to put a little bit of hot glue right through here. And I'm doing a little bit at a time. And I'm just going to go ahead and get as close as I can. And I'm going to go ahead and glue this all the way down. And then we're just going to continue to go all the way around, all the way down, trying to stay as close to the edge as possible. I'm going to let this dry once I get down to the bottom. So once you get all the way down to the bottom, you want to let yours dry completely. But once yours is dry, you'll be able to turn it on the right side. And all I'm going to do is just take this, give this a little shake, and we have our little pants leg, just like this one. Set that to the side. And what I did for her shirt, this is the shirt that she's going to be wearing. And like I said, I just basically took some old clothes and that had stains on them, and I didn't want to throw them out because I knew I could use them for something. So this is what we're going to be dressing her in. Let's see if she's dry. Okay. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to go ahead and get her dressed. So what I'm going to do is I go ahead and take this and stick this right through here, just like that. And I'm just going to go ahead and pull this way. And I'm going to put a little bit of hot glue here just to secure it, like this. And I'm just going to pull this as close to the middle as I can get it. Now, I don't know if other people do this differently, but this is just how I do my jeans or my doll's clothes or gnome clothes or whatever you want to call them. I don't know if they're considered dolls or gnomes. I don't know. But we're just going to go ahead and finish getting her dressed. And we're going to do this to both sides. So once you get her pants on, this is what she should look like. Now we're going to go ahead and grab her little shirt. And I'm just going to go ahead and all I'm going to do is just slide this over her head because it will be her shirt. So we got this pulled over her head. And now we're just going to pull it down a little bit. Turn it back. I'm just going to turn this over. And we're just going to go ahead and continue to pull this down and around. And I'm just going to pull this all the way down. So it's over her legs just like this. Now, I'm just going to go ahead, pull her hair through. And now what I'm going to do is take this part and I'm just going to tuck it in a little bit, just like this. And I'm just going to pull it in the back just to make it a little bit tighter here. So I'm just going to turn her over. And we don't have to worry about this part because we're going to have a hat that's going to cover that. So I'm just going to take that, push this down like this, add a little bit more hot glue, hold this here, let that dry. Turn it back over. So now that we have this, I'm going to go ahead and put her hat on. And I am going to be using the other part of the sleeve for her head. So I'm just going to give this a little bit of a stretch, and then we're just going to put this over the top, just like this. And this is going to be the hat that matches her shirt. So now once you have your hat on and you're happy with the place of it, like the placement, you can start gluing it down. So we're just going to go ahead and just go around and just glue the hat down. Now what we're going to do with this part of it, I like to just take it and tuck it like this. So I am going to just add a little bit of hot glue. And then I'm just going to take these two ends and connect them like this. And then I'm going to go ahead and do this side here with this side. And then I'm just going to bring these two ends together like that. And I'm just going to take my finger and hold them here. And then I'm going to turn it around to see how I want it to look. And I think I'm going to stick mine right here. So I'm going to turn it back over. And I am going to put some hot glue right here. And I'm just going to take this part and stick this right down here. And I'm going to hold that until it's dry. So once it's dry, this is what it should look like. So this is what we have so far. Now what we're going to do is I am going to go ahead and I'm going to pull this up a little. I think I'm going to go ahead and add her shoes. Or maybe we can just work on her arms. Okay, let's add the shoes. That way they can start drying. So what I'm doing is what I always do in every video. Just squeeze a little bit of hot glue, a good amount, right down in that shoe. I'm going to grab another glue stick. And I'm putting a good amount in there. And I want it to start drying a little before I stick my gnome down off in here. So now I'm just going to let this set just a little bit. And then I'll stick her down off in there. There we go. So while that's drying, I'm going to take some pipe cleaners, which is another option for her arms. And I'm going to double them, just like this. And I'm going to fold it over. And then I'm just going to twist it on itself. So just like this. I normally use aluminum foil, but I haven't been into the store in a while because I am still on crutches. So, yeah, hopefully I can retire the crutches very soon because, yeah, I really need to get out. So, yeah. I've been going different places, but it's not the same. Like, I can't really go into Dollar Tree and shop like I want to because, you know, I can't. It's kind of hard to carry a buggy or a basket and push a cart when you have to have both your hands for crutches. So I have these two here, and these are what I'm going to use for her arms, but I have these two extra ones, so I think I'm just going to go ahead and use these two. So I'm just going to go ahead and wrap this around here. You don't have to do this, but I figured it's here. I might as well use it. So I'm just going to go ahead and wrap this. And plus, on top of that, it's really up to you. Like, if you want to use them or not. Depends on how thick or you want your arms. And now I'm just going to go ahead, wrap this like this. And set that to the side, and I'm going to pull up her legs, her pants, and we're just going to go ahead and stick her right down off in the glue because it should be dry good enough now for me to stick it in and it be tacky. And this is what it looks like, but I'm just going to go ahead and hold this here like this. And I am going to squeeze a little more hot glue down off in here. And I'm also going to be gluing her to a piece of wood. I call it a wood disc. She's going to be glued to this. And she'll be going to a crafting event with me tomorrow. So I'm going to slide this to the side and go ahead and work on the arms. So we got her out the way so she can dry. And now I'm going to bring these two pieces here that I have here, this is what we're going to be using for her to make her arms. Because also these are posable. You can bend and flex them, so you can make her holding anything in her hand. You can give her a little teddy bear if you want. I still undecided if I want her to be holding anything. It all depends on what my customer likes. So if she wants me to make them holding anything, then that's probably what I'll do. But I'm going to go ahead and stick some hot glue down on here. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stick this right here just like that. And I'm just going to roll it. Just like that. Pull it out. And then I'm going to go ahead and add some hot glue as I go. So I'm just going to continue to roll like this. And now when I get to the end, I'm just going to go ahead and put a thin layer of hot glue. And I'm just going to leave this part open right here, because this is where we'll stick the little bead for her hand. Now I'm just going to go ahead, put a little bit here. Let that dry, and I'll do the same thing to the other one. So now we have both of them rolled. I'm going to bring my gnome girl back to see. Okay, she's pretty dry and she stands. And I know she's a little bit tall. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take and see about where I want to mark her arms to be. Alright, so that's a pretty good length for me. So I'm just going to grab this. And I'm going to take my scissors. And we're just going to cut right there. And I'm going to use this as a guide for the other one. So we're just going to go ahead and cut. I'm going to move this out the way. So now that we're going to go ahead and take some hot glue. And we're just going to seal up the ends. Just like this. Do the same thing to this one. I'm just going to push that down a little. Hot glue. In. I'm just going to push that. Hold it here. Let that dry. And then I have these two little wooden beads. And these are what I'm going to be using for her hand. You can use whatever you want, but this is what I have on hand. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my hot glue, and I'm just going to put a little bit of hot glue there. And I'm going to take and stick this right here, and I'm just going to hold it there and push it in a little bit. Just for extra security. Just to make sure that it doesn't slide out later on. So we're going to do the same thing to this one. I'm going to put some hot glue in. Take our bead, and we're just going to stick that right in there, push in a little bit, and hold. Now, we're going to go ahead and bring her back, and we're going to go ahead and attach the arms. So I'm going to go ahead and put it here. Let's do this. Let's put it on this side. So let's go ahead and I'm going to turn it this way. And we're going to go ahead and glue them in place. So we gluing down one, which is here. And then I'm going to go ahead, come over to the other side. Straighten her arm out. I'm just going to bend this a little. And I'm going to hold her so I can see if I may need to cut off a little more. And I'm going to take I'm just going to take just a tad bit off of this one. This one was a little bit longer than I wanted. And now I am going to go ahead, stick it here. Let's see. And now we're going to go ahead and glue it in place. So I'm going to grab some hot glue. Put this down on here, being very careful not to burn yourself. And we're just going to stick this right here. And I'm just going to hold this and let it dry. And it shouldn't take very long. All right. Just to make sure, I'm just going to hold this a little more. Now here is where you need to decide if you want to make her holding something or not. So we have her arms in place. I'm just going to I'm going to turn this up a little. So I'm just going to move her hair around, place her arms, and let's go ahead and fix her pants. So I'm just going to go ahead and pull her pants legs down a little bit. Now, if you want to glue her down on a base, you could, but mine seems to stand pretty good on her own. And I didn't have to add any weight to her to make her stand. I put enough hot glue in the bottom of her shoes and let it dry first, and that seems to help. That's what works for me. And here she is. I'm going to turn the camera up. And here she is from the back. And here she is and I got a little bit of hot glue in her hair. So let's just go ahead and fix that. So I'm just going to cut a little bit. There we go. And here she go. And here she is full. So I'm going to go ahead and turn my camera up. So, yeah, once again, here she goes. If you like this video, please give me a like and a thumbs up. If you would like to see me do any other type of video, please let me know in the comment box below. And if you are not already subscribed, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I would love for you to become part of my YouTube family. And with that being said, thank you guys so much for taking the time out of your day to watch one of my videos. That really means a lot. And yeah, I hope y'all have a nice day. Bye.